Today, boys, we're going to do some more work with Scratch. Today, you're actually going to play around with the program itself. So the learning intentions for the unit are you're developing an understanding of what is needed to create online games, and you're going to learn how to write a computer program using the package called Scratch. So you're going to begin by saving some of the documents that I've loaded up here. I want you to save this overview, which is a really neat way of learning some of the basic things in Scratch. Then you'll find that I have some level 1 games and some level 2 games. If you have never done any work with Scratch before, try these ones. If you're confident and you've used Scratch in primary school, you might like to create these. Now, what I want you to do is follow them exactly as it says in the guiding. So this getting started with Scratch, it takes you through what Scratch is, and it tells you what to do, and it shows you here. These are the motion buttons. So motion. Now this is the old view, changed about 18 months ago, 2 years, but pretty much similar, just a few subtle differences. So do exactly what they say to get a feel for Scratch. The games, we'll just show you one. So they were done, and if we're at school, I'd have these printed out as little cards. But you have what the game is. Now, this game is Animate Your Name, and these are the things you're going to learn to do. So here is what it would look like. Here is what you do. So you go in and create a new backdrop. So you choose a backdrop. You choose a letter from the categories of sprites. You add different blocks, and then you try it out. And so you follow exactly what it says there. They have the directions, and they have what your code blocks will look like and what should happen when you do it. So these are the card games, nice and simple. Now, I think the rest is fairly self-explanatory. So we're going to have a look at this. If we're at school, I would have gone through this, and we would have done a little bit more work together. Before you go any further and start anything today, I want you to go to your Digital Technology subject folder and create a subfolder called Scratch, and that's where you'll save all your documents into. Then you're going to, well, as you said, you're going to learn to write using the software package called Scratch, and you're going to create some computer games, and if we get a chance, we may or may not, we might test out each other's games. Now, to start with, you need to log on to your computer and then go to our search option and find the program Scratch. So go there, type in Scratch, it'll come up looking like this, then you'll open or click onto Scratch. Your screen that comes up looks like this. As you can see, it's a little bit different from some of the screen grabs on those cards, but it is pretty much, there's not too different. The first thing I want you to do is save whatever it is you're doing. So you'll go up to File. When you get a drop-down list, you'll use the choice of Save As, and you'll save, and I would say the first one where you're just playing around, call it Test, unless you're doing a game, and if you're doing one of those games, name it whatever that game is that you're creating. Okay, so File, Save As, and save it. Now, this is what we call a sprite. They use sprites. These are the script blocks, or the blocks of code, and you use them in the hour of code. These are the script groups. So as you can see, these are all motion ones, and motion is always blue. If you want to change the look, purple. If you want to change the sound or put in some sound, events, control. So they're all color-coded. So the blocks for motion are blue. The blocks for control blocks are always that orangey color, and so on. This is what we call the stage, the thing over here that the sprite is sitting on. This is the stage. If you want to change sprites, if you go in here, you can open up and you'll see other options of sprites. You can change backdrops by going here. You can add sounds. They have a certain number of sounds already there, but you can add your own or tape your own if you want to. Once you've got some blocks of code here, you can run your code by clicking on the green flag, and to stop it, you click on the red stop button. Today I'd like you to try and make sure you know how to change the look of a sprite, how to make a sprite move, and how to add sprites and perhaps alter the speed they move. So the sorts of things that you'll be doing today is making a sprite go faster or slower. You'll learn how to change the number of steps. You'll also work out how your sprite can move and turn. Most of the games, most of the cards will show you that. This is a forever loop here. And so once you've got your motion, so you move 10 steps, turn 15 degrees, move 10 steps, and because it's a forever loop, and if you remember we did this, we looked at loops a little bit when we did flowcharts, it will keep doing this and virtually go round and round and round because the forever loop is in here and we haven't told it to stop. And there's your stop button. Okay, I think that's enough of that PowerPoint. I'll just go down and show you how to get into Scratch. So there is our little search button. Type in. So we've got Scratch. We open it up. If I were you, I would have locked it onto my pin bar because a taskbar, because pinning it there, you're going to be using it for the next few weeks anyway, so it will be nice and easy to get to. First time you load it up may take a little bit of time, so I'm loading it up for the first time. Okay, there are our blocks, different blocks of code. There's our control, which gives us the forever loop, events, and to move them across, you just drag them. So when the start flag is run, it starts. So generally, people start with this. So you might say, when move 10 steps, and then you just keep building. Okay, down here, I talked about having different sprites. It gives you all the different sorts of sprites. You can look up animals, people. You can go through and have a look at all of the different things. There's our cat, which is what Scratch is known for. Backgrounds. This is where you go to change your background. If you want some tutorials and you want them in Scratch, I advise you, if you're unsure, always to go and have a look at these tutorials. For instance, getting started is great. It takes you right through what you need to do. So, move 10 steps and shows you what should happen. Say hello for 2 seconds. And you can keep going on. And so it takes you all the way through, and it's a great tool. So that's it really. Today is about you playing around, following directions, and getting to know this particular program. You've all done a block coding when you did the hour of code, so you got a feel for playing it. You've all played the games, so now it's time for you. Oh, and the other thing, sorry, I should have shown you. File, save to your computer. It's not save as anymore. Forgot. And then we just go in and file. I could call this test 1 or 2, and then once you've saved it, you can always go and so you can go file, you can load from your computer, and there's my test. So if I want that one back again, I can open that back, and it takes me to the other one, the game that I was last working on. Okay, I think it's time for you to play around rather than me talk. So good luck, boys, and we'll work on this today, and probably in our next lesson I'll give you a little bit more time, and then we will start to do planning for our own game, or the one that you're going to make.